This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, we chat with a local academic who's predicting Scotland will leave the European Union within the next 2 years. People from all over the world gather to talk about food, its design and how to use it more sustainably. And yarn bombing is back with the emergence of a knitted foot near the University of Otago. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. A local scholar believes Scotland may leave the United Kingdom to join the European Union in a little over 2 years. The Scottish Studies professor says a referendum seems likely following last week's British exit vote, and he says it's an outcome that other local Scots are already in support of.
First, it was Brexit, but is a Scottish exit on the cards? Scotland could soon vote to leave the United Kingdom for a better relationship with the European Union. Speaking from his office in the Edinburgh of the South, Professor Liam McElvenny of the Centre for Irish and Scottish Studies believes it's time for his homeland to sever formal ties with Britain.
I can't envisage a situation in which Scotland retains membership of the EU without becoming independent. I think it will be not just highly likely but inevitable that Scotland will have a second independence referendum.
McElvenny believes the Scottish First Minister described it best when he said it's democratically unacceptable that Scotland has been voted out of the EU by English votes. He says he's already heard from plenty of other Dunedin-based Scots, saying they also believe it's time to break free.
I think what has surprised me is the extent to which people 12,000 miles away are keenly interested in the events that are taking place in Scotland. There does seem to be an appetite, as there was in the 2014 independence referendum, to hear about what's happening in Scotland. So that's been quite surprising and gratifying.
McElvenny's been monitoring Newswise since the Brexit vote and says he's noticed many influential people have stated, post-Brexit, that they will now vote for an independent Scotland.
I think we're in a position of such uncertainty and volatility now that the whole picture has been transformed. And one of the striking things is the extent to which people who were very firm no voters in 2014 have indicated that in these changed circumstances they will vote yes. I mean, everyone from J.K. Rowling to the Daily Record newspaper has been edging towards a yes vote. So I think this has been an absolute game changer.
McElvenny says when Scotland held an independence referendum in 2014, a 600-page document was produced, giving arguments both for and against, with every conceivable outcome taken into account. However, he says it looks like the UK's idea to leave the EU was a much less detailed decision. Daryl Baser, 39 Dunedin News.
A Dunedin Lodge operator has taken out a top prize at the recent National Holiday Parks Awards. Lindsay McLeod of Arran Lodge in Kaikorai Valley won the award for outstanding service to the holiday park industry. A spokesman for the awards said McLeod deserved the recognition after working tirelessly, providing advice, guidance and leadership to the holiday park sector. Arran Lodge was the only Dunedin site to win an award this year. The annual awards ceremony was held last week. Some well-known names in the international food industry are descending on Dunedin to discuss and learn about food design. Otago Polytechnic is hosting the second International Food Design Conference over the next 3 days. And this year there's an increased focus on sustainable food practices.
Dozens of locals are embracing the start of this year's International Food Design Conference at Otago Polytech.
That's spectacular, yeah.
They've been enjoying a range of tasty treats with the focus of sustainability.
There's a big focus on waste and the Love Food Hate Waste campaign, which is to be launched here today in the South Island. So it's a big trend to reuse stuff that would normally become waste.
It's set to be a busy week for Otago Polytechnic's food design students, who are preparing a lot of meals, not only for today's event but several others. They're happy to have the chance to try out new and different ingredients.
So we're utilising things that people don't really want to use, things that are considered nasty to use, and we've developed and created them into something that's delicious.
Ingredients like pasta have been ground up and made into crackers, while cauliflower is used to make pesto. The bite-sized treats went down a hit, with everyone enjoying the new flavours.
Oh, it's lovely. You wouldn't know that it was from the waste or leftover bits. Yeah, no, they've been.
Oh, it's great. I think someone's been very creative with a whole lot of unusual offcuts.
You've used waste bread too?
Yes, yeah.
Fantastic, really good.
The main idea of the food conference is to get everyone thinking about the process of food and explore the idea of how we can impact the food system.
So this is just thought-provoking, but also looking at what's current and what's happening and what's pushing boundaries out there.
The event will run until Friday night with a variety of workshops and lectures by a number of notable food design experts. Henry McMullen, 39, Dunedin News.
Police believe a thief used last weekend's rugby test match to their advantage. Thousands of dollars worth of electronics were stolen from a car parked near Forsyth Bar Stadium on Saturday night. An Apple laptop, external hard drive and a pair of headphones were taken whilst the All Blacks played Wales. Police are also on the lookout for two people who were seen rifling through a car boot in Caversham early this morning. Sniffer dogs were taken to the Playfair Street location, tracking the scent to Kew, but there was no sign of the offenders. A new knitted creation on a Dunedin street is bringing yarn bombing back into the spotlight. The practice involves measuring an object, knitting something to cover it, and returning, usually under the cover of darkness, to put it in place. While it's been happening around Dunedin for a number of years, the appearance of a woolen foot near the University of Otago is still piquing people's interest.
Giving yarn bombing a kick-start. Part-time Dunedin resident Diane Cousins spreads herself and her yarn far and wide, with family in Dunedin, Brisbane and Durban. She creates yarn bomb events in all three locations, and her latest is this monster foot in Union Street near the University of Otago, which she says is only a small one next to her largest project.
3 trees that were in a row. We're not huge, we're not a huge group or anything, so with our small group we took on 3 trees and covered them with all sorts of junk.
While knitting's been around for centuries, the practice of yarn bombing, where something is measured and then decorated, has only been around for a decade or so. But Cousins says it's a global phenomenon.
Oh, it's all over the world, absolutely all over the world. There's, if you just look up yarn bomb on Facebook, you're just presented with heaps of pages of places where the yarn bombing happens. It's just, yeah, it's good, it's fun.
It's a skill she says has skipped a generation, with her grandson also loving it as well. Yarn bombing, also known as guerrilla knitting, Nafiti and urban knitting, is spreading rapidly with the help of social media, with many accounts spreading the yarn. Daryl Baser, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, a local writer turns to telling residents' stories, and we're on the streets to see how you feel about having the right to end your life.
Generally in the winter time, one of my favourite sights is in the evening is looking out over the lights of the city and seeing the harbour absolutely glassy calm, and I think that we've just got a fantastic environment here in Dunedin. It's a great place to live and I'm very happy to be here.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
I understand now how economics can affect global warming.
And I found out how grass growth in New Zealand affects Fashion Week in Milan.
I can even tell you how smartphone technology affects the survival of mountain gorillas.
Sorry.
Because at the Otago Business School, it's not just about the world of business, it's how business affects the world.
I'm Kim. Michaela.
David. And this is our place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
Thinking of services for older people, think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to pearsotago.org.nz or call 4777 115.
Favourite part of winter? I like fashion in winter, I like dressing up in winter, I love having scarves, and I do the same thing for my house. So yeah, it's just that layering effect, isn't it, of how we work, really.
Welcome back. New statistics on Maori businesses are providing an insight into the economic strength of more than 1,000 Maori authorities. Maori assets grew 15.5% in 2014 to reach $15 billion. It's the second reported year of asset growth, with an increase of $1.6 billion the year before. The main contributor to the growth was assets such as goodwill, trademarks, shares and long-term bonds and loans. And on that note, let's take a look at today's financials. The NZX 50 has closed the day up 88 points, now at 6,804. The FTSE is up 158 points. And to the exchange rates, and the Kiwi dollar is up against all the currencies we follow. A Dunedin-based writer and former journalist has turned her focus to helping others reflect on their own history. Naomi Miller works closely with individuals and their families to professionally record, write and publish their stories. She joins us now to talk about it. Good evening. How would you explain what it is you do?
I spend time with people, listening to their life story. Yeah, I record all of our conversations, I transcribe them, I edit them, and compile them into a draft until they're ready to be published into a book.
And this is your own book, so you are collecting their stories, or is it a book for them?
I'm writing a book for them.
Wonderful. What methods do you use to help extract those stories?
I just allow them to be themselves, really. It's just a process of meeting somebody and waiting for them to feel comfortable enough with me to start talking about their life. So that process can take a short while, and some people take a long time to thaw.
What inspired you to do this?
When I worked as a reporter, I often left interviews with people and they stayed in my memory for quite a long time, and I used to think when I got back to the office, I wish I could do that person justice. I wish I could write their story in more depth. And so I just made a resolve, really, that if I ever got the opportunity to do that, that's what I'd do.
Apart from the obvious potential introduction aspect, has your journalism past helped you in other areas for doing this?
I think it has. I think it's enabled me to structure, because these projects can be quite big. and just keep clarity and keep them really positive and present and, you know, just clean.
What's the most enjoyable part of this process for you?
The people, yeah. Just giving a person the opportunity to tell their story is a really precious thing to be able to do.
What sort of stories have you come across so far?
Oh, there's so many, it's really hard to pull one out. It's people's relationships with their family, it's their life's experience, be it travel or work, all sorts of things.
Is it difficult to get people talking in depth, to share perhaps some secrets?
No, it's just over a period of time, once they relax. And one of the things that I really do is, because I'm working with people aged between about 85 and 95 often, is that I just tell them that they don't have to get it right, that it's just like a normal conversation, and if there are any facts and figures and things that we have to check at a later date, we can do that. So just to relax and talk to me, and that actually works really well once they know that they can do that and that there'll be enough time for us to clarify. Then they relax and they just start talking like they would do to a family member.
Has anything been published as yet?
Oh yes, I've got 10 books in publication.
Wonderful stuff. So what are you working on at the moment?
I'm working with a woman who is going through 3 generations of her family who have travelled between Scotland and India and back. So there's a wonderful contrast between life in India and then going back to Dua, Scotland.
Very nice. Dunedin writer Naomi Miller, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, we find out if you're keen on euthanasia becoming legal, and we'll take a look at weather for Thursday.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silverhorn.co.nz to order Emu oil today.
Thinking of services for older people? Think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to psotago.org.nz or call 4777 115.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
We're a 25 Moreau Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focusing on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Are you within your legal rights to take one life in order to save another? Welcome to the ambiguities of law. Because whilst the law may be clear, there is still room for both yes and no.
What? No!
The decision will depend on logical thinking and the art of argument. And this is what we learn at New Zealand's first and world-renowned law faculty.
You can stop now.
I'm Latafale, and this is my place in the world.
Take your place in the world. Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
As the nights draw in and it gets colder, people have always turned towards stories to keep them entertained in the winter. They illuminate the darkness, they entertain you, and they tickle your imagination. Whether you're reading, horrific crime novels, thrilling fantasy novels, mind-bending sci-fi, perhaps you're into the latest literary sensations, or illuminating tales of modern life. Whatever you like, we've got it here.
Welcome back. Auckland Blues player Tavita Lee has signed with the Highlanders for the 2017 season. The young winger will follow in the footsteps of former Blues converts Wasaki Naholo and Malakai Fekatoa. Highlanders CEO Roger Clark says while luring players to the Deep South wasn't easy a few years ago, players are now seeing the side as an attractive franchise. He's confident the shift will work well for Lee and provide him with the opportunities he's looking for to further his rugby career. The move to legalise euthanasia in New Zealand is gaining momentum. 22,000 people have so far had their say on the call for an inquiry into public opinion on the matter. And with that in mind, our Word on the Street team asked the public if they think euthanasia should be legalised here.
Yeah, it's a horrible decision to make, but it is dignity of the person, isn't it?
I think it probably should be an option for people to make that decision themselves and have the opportunity, if it's something they're looking towards, that they can use it if need be.
Some people should be able to reserve the right to die if their quality of life isn't what they expect it to be.
So no. Definitely. I think regardless of whether you can make an informed decision yourself about whether you want to die or not. I think everyone should have the right to choose, and if not, maybe their family should be able to kind of speak on their behalf regarding it,
I suppose, probably look at it, they'd have to be really sick, or they'd have to be really sick, or a lot of pain.
I think that if someone is in a right mindset to want to end their suffering, I think they should, obviously they'd be, have to go through psychological testing and things like that. I think that if they can confidently make that decision that they want their life to end, I think that, personally, as I said, from watching someone suffer and who, would have rather, ended their life nicely, then I think,
Life is precious.
I think if a person gets to make the decision, it's better, but if other people are making decisions for people, I don't know that that's necessarily fair.
I'd say it should be, it's up to the person who is quite sick, that they, if they've got the decision to make it, I think that a lot of people would, because they're in a lot of pain, and, I don't think it's considered murder or manslaughter. It's probably not, to be fair.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. A local academic believes the recent British exit from the European Union will bring about a Scottish referendum in as little as 2 years. An international food design conference at Otago Polytechnic kicked off today with a focus on sustainable food getting the ball rolling. And the practice of yarn bombing is back in the spotlight with a new knitted foot appearing near the University of Otago. Well, it's time now to find out what's going to be in Thursday's Otago Daily Times. And Barry Stewart's with us once again. Good evening.
Hello, Rebecca. The waiting list for state houses has jumped 40%, but at the same time Housing New Zealand is moving to sell houses in Mosgiel, so we get some reaction to that issue. Winter Festival Drag Race was the big event in the Queenstown Winter Festival today.
Did you take part, Barry?
It's in Queenstown, I'm in Dunedin, so no, I didn't run that quickly.
Okay.
But the race was, we did have a representative, David Williams, our Mountain Scene editor and also head of our bureau up there. He was entered, but he pulled out. He claimed he had a sore back. Yeah, how hard is it to run high heels?
Yeah, well, it's not always that easy if you're not used to it.
Seriously?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
if you're not used to
hurdle
it.
bales of hay. But so he said his back was too tough, too sore, so he pulled it. So we'll let him away with that one. But yeah, so we have coverage of that amusing event up there, and also the Otago Polytechnic Design Conference. So we talked to a student who has made delicious fare out of scraps, and we feature that tomorrow. And the Hyde Railway Station, to be interested to know, has been saved. The public have dipped their hands into their pockets, found $15,000, and it is back in business.
That is great news. You can read all about that in tomorrow's ODT. Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
Time now for local weather.
This 39 Dunedin News weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Emu Oil.
And here is today's city view. It's taken of Wakaree School. Around the city at 3 o'clock today, 12 degrees recorded in the central city, 13 for the Gardens and 14 out on the Tyree. Well, to the situation, and the weak ridge of high pressure is still with us. What that means around the region, especially for Invercargill, Gore, Tiano and Alexandra, is fine weather with highs of around 9 or 10 degrees. Very little wind. And it's becoming fine in Oamaru with a high of 9, but it's fine everywhere else with very little wind and also 9 degrees. In Dunedin tonight, showers are possible, believe it or not. After that, we'll drop to a low of 2 degrees. Tomorrow, it will become fine and sunny with cold southerlies dying out. Frosts are possible at night, a high of 9 with a low of 3. And on Friday, fine and sunny with 11 degrees. To the Otago Pallet Fires tidal and fishing information. High tide tomorrow is at midday. Low tide follows at 10 to 7. And fishing conditions look good at around 25 past 8 tomorrow morning. And that is local news for Wednesday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.